This is Golden Stories. The sun beat down on a mansion that looked like it belonged in a movie. White marble floors, glass walls, an infinity pool that spilled into the horizon. It wasn't just a house, it was a kingdom. And sitting at the edge of that pool, sipping a cold glass of sparkling water, was Marcus Kane, billionaire, philanthropist, a man who had built his empire from nothing but grit and brilliance. But in America, all that wealth, all that status couldn't protect him from one thing: racism with a badge. The hum of luxury was broken by the wail of sirens. Two police cruisers skidded to a stop outside the estate. The iron gates slid open as if fear itself had forced them. Out stormed three officers, their boots stomping across the driveway like they were marching into enemy territory. Officer Daniels led the charge. A thick-necked man with arrogance painted across his face, he strutted past the security cameras without so much as a knock. His eyes locked on Marcus like a hunter spotting prey. "You," he barked, jabbing a finger toward the pool. "Pool's closed. Where's the homeowner?" Marcus slid his sunglasses down his nose, revealing calm, razor-sharp eyes. He didn't flinch, didn't move. He just let the silence bite. Then, with a voice smoother than the water beside him, he said, "You're looking at him." The officers laughed. "Not the kind that eases tension, but the kind that strips dignity." Daniels stepped closer, his voice a hiss. "Don't play smart. People like you don't own houses like this. Now stand up before I drag you out." Neighbors leaned over fences, phones started recording. The humiliation was public, raw, deliberate. But Marcus? He only smiled. A storm was coming. The laughter of the officers echoed across the marble walls like poison. Daniels kept circling Marcus, his shadow spilling across the billionaire's chair, his tone dripping with venom. "You really think we're stupid? Men like you don't live here. Men like you clean here." The words cut through the air, sharp and humiliating. Nurses, gardeners, and delivery drivers who worked in the neighborhood paused at the gates. They'd seen harassment before, but never in broad daylight, never this bold. Phones went up higher, lenses catching every insult, every sneer. Marcus placed his drink on the side table with slow precision. Not because he was scared, but because men like Daniels thrived on seeing rage, and Marcus refused to give him that satisfaction. "Officer," Marcus said calmly, "you've stepped onto private property without a warrant. That means you're trespassing. Shall I have my lawyer explain what happens next?" The smirk on Daniels's face deepened. He leaned closer, close enough that Marcus could smell the stench of arrogance on his breath. "You think money makes you untouchable? Money won't save you today. We'll drag you out in front of everyone, and by the time we're done, nobody will care who you are." Marcus tilted his head, eyes unblinking. Around him, the tension thickened. The other officers shifted, uneasy but unwilling to challenge their leader. Then Marcus did something unexpected. He reached into his robe pocket. Daniel's hand flew to his holster, tension exploding in the air. The crowd gasped, ready for violence. But instead of a weapon, Marcus pulled out a small leather folder. He opened it, and a golden emblem gleamed in the sun. Not a driver's license, not a business card, something heavier, something that made Daniel's face twitch with sudden doubt. The emblem shimmered in the sunlight, bold and undeniable. Gasps rippled through the onlookers. Daniels froze mid-breath, his bravado faltering for the first time. Marcus rose from his chair, slow and deliberate, towering over the officer who moments earlier had barked orders like he owned the world. His voice was calm but sharp enough to cut through bone. "You barged into my home. You disrespected me in front of witnesses. And now," he tapped the golden emblem with one finger, "you've just embarrassed yourself on camera." Daniel's eyes darted to the glowing red lights of phones recording from every angle. His fellow officers shifted uncomfortably, their confidence unraveling. Still, his pride pushed him forward. That that means nothing here," Daniels stammered. "This is police business. You're under investigation." Marcus chuckled, the sound low and dangerous. "Investigation? You've been investigating my skin since the second you stepped through that gate." The crowd murmured. A neighbor clapped once, sharp and defiant. Marcus stepped closer until their faces were inches apart. "Do you know who I am, officer? My name is etched on this estate. My money built half this city. And that emblem?" He held it higher for the cameras. "That connects me to people your little badge will never touch." Daniel's throat tightened. His hands, once so steady, now trembled at his sides. For the first time in his career, the hunter realized he had walked straight into a trap. The silence was suffocating. Daniels tried to steady his breathing, but the cameras caught everything. The sweat dripping, the twitch in his jaw, the panic settling into his eyes. Marcus didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. Authority radiated from every syllable. "You thought you could humiliate me," Marcus said, scanning the crowd. "But today, the only man stripped bare is you." He turned, showing the golden emblem once more to the dozens of phones recording, its shine reflected in the lenses, a symbol stronger than any excuse Daniels could muster. "This," Marcus continued, "is the shield that built nations, the power you will never understand. And now, your little performance is evidence, evidence of what happens when arrogance meets reality." A ripple of applause broke through the tension. Neighbors cheered. Some whistled. The two junior officers stepped back, their eyes dropping to the ground, unwilling to share their leader's shame. Daniels's lips parted, searching for words, but none came. He had walked into a battlefield unarmed, and now he stood crushed beneath the weight of his own arrogance. Marcus slid his sunglasses back on, reclaimed his seat by the pool, and lifted his glass. "Gentlemen," he said coolly, "you may leave my property now." And just like that, the empire he tried to tarnish swallowed him whole. Daniels didn't just lose control, he lost his dignity, his authority, his career in front of the entire world. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, drop a comment, and subscribe. More golden stories are coming, and trust me, you won't see them coming.